Bless this truck I drive and help me keep someone alive. Be my mortal sight this day on streets where little children play. Bless my helper fast asleep when the night is long and deep, and keep my cargo safe and sound through the hours big and round. Make my judgment sound as steel and be my hands upon the wheel. Bless the travelers going past and teach them not to go too fast. Give me strength for every trip so I may care for what they ship, and make me mindful every mile that life is just a little while. That's right, Bikeaholics Bike Bright Spray Motorcycle Cleaner and Degreaser Motorcycle Wet Wash. Absolutely the best wet wash motorcycle cleaner on the market. We're convinced of that. That's right, tried and tested by the law-abiding biker crew. It is absolutely our number one go-to wet wash motorcycle cleaner. It's super foaming triple action formula. Gets in all the cracks and crevices. That's right, you know, Bikeaholics, how we don't like any dirty cracks or crevices. Easy as pie, spray it on, let it soak. That's right, rinse it right off, Bikeaholics. Then get out there and spend more time riding, guys. Less time washing your ride. Check out our whole line of Bike Bright products for your specific motorcycle cleaning and detailing needs. That's right. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Big Daddy Kane, ready to rock and roll, has it in stock, ready to ship to you direct right now. Hey, don't forget, while you're there, pick up a bottle of Bug Slide. That's our number one waterless motorcycle cleaner for maintaining your bike in between those wet washes, guys. That's right. Oh yeah, Bikeaholics. That's right. Let's get right back into it. This is going to be part 2 of 2. I hope you like part 1. That's all about trucks and motorcycles sharing the freaking road, guys. That's right. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the big MM. That's right. Also known as the 95%. That's right. Large and in charge, more so than any time in history of the motorcycle scene, guys. That's right. By listening, you are part of what we call the biker revolution, and it is huge, guys. That's right. You're part of it. I just have one question before we get started. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Mount up. Let us take you on another wild-ass ride. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast and your high-tech redneck. As I stated up front, this is part 2 of 2. We hope you've enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed part 1, and it is all about our main topic, big rigs and motorcycles. That's right, sharing the road, the safety concerns, the courtesies, the stories, and that's right, we have patron Russell Roberts, an open discussion with him. And then he was in the studio with us. Of course, Oscar was present. Chewy was in the house and just tore it up, guys, talking about this subject. And it went long, so we broke it into 2 episodes. Stephen Stratton, also a patron, heavily involved, was in via Skype. Now, patron Russell Roberts is a professional truck driver, and also Stephen Stratton, also a patron, like I stated, and he is a professional truck driver. And so we got those 2 together, and we, like I say, we just tore that subject apart. I learned a lot. I hope you guys are learning a lot, and so we can all be respectful of each other. They're out on the road, and all the tips and tricks on how to keep yourself alive riding a motorcycle out on the road, and what you need to be concerned around those big rigs and all that kind of stuff. I do really appreciate having all the guys that were here in the studio. And then, of course, like I say, we just love to involve our patrons. There's so much experience and different things people can bring to the table. Of course, we have the platform. I've got the gear and the mics and the reach, and I'm willing to share it and get as many people involved as you guys have heard in the past of bringing the different expertise within the patron community. Awesome, guys. Don't forget, get hooked up as a patron, guys. lawabidingbiker.com/patron, Patreon, and make sure this show keeps heading on down the road. And we do appreciate them so much. Take action, guys. That's right. No risk to it, guys. You can pledge a certain amount per piece of content, and you can put a monthly cap on it. You know, all that good stuff. Hey, here's a free video before we get right back into it. I just want to mention real quick, and that's install a Harley Davidson cam cover. That's right, completely free. And that cam cover, the particular project we did it on Chewy's bike, and we wanted to take the chrome one and put a black one. There's some procedures, I should say, that need to be followed. And, you can pretty much do a custom one over there on your right side, your cam cover. Like I say, we did a black one. Anyways, you can get that free video over at lawabidingbiker.com/Harley cam cover. And check that video out, guys. Just another of free videos in our long line of free videos. Speaking of patrons, I just want to say this episode is brought to you by the following patrons. I want to thank them: Rod Zimmerman of Shepherd, Montana, Jim Wolf of Grand Blanc, I think, Michigan. He's a top tier, that's right. Gets the private Facebook group. Actually, he gets top tier, so he gets the access to premium videos. Many of them get access to the Facebook group. And then Carl Cronkite of Aliso Viejo, California. That's right. Shout out Michigan, Montana, and California. Oh, Carl's also a top tier. That's right. He gets access to those premium videos. That's right, guys. We appreciate them, and you guys all know how to get access if you want to become a patron, because I mentioned it up front there. Oh, sorry about that. That's right. It's getting late. Getting late into the night. We've been cranking these podcasts out. So, all right, guys. Like I say, we're going to get back into the main topic, and I hope you're appreciating it. And with that said, let's just get right back into it.
Well, and if all the accidents that we've been involved in, we've gone and investigated, of all the ones involving semis against
anything else.
Yeah, the semi person driving the semi
they always walk away.
Is fine.
Yeah.
And it's the other person that's involved that is
just got to be hauled off in an ambulance.
Exactly, in pieces most of the time.
Sometimes, yeah, that's not good.
One of the things I've learned is chicks don't dig dead. So I mean,
some do.
That's
a fetish.
That's weird.
Not a panty dropper, is
it? Not so much, Steve. Not so much.
Can't do much with dead.
Stiff. Well,
there is a fetish there.
Oh yeah, stiff, but not stiff. Come on.
right.
But no. But to come back to the topic, I mean, it's common sense to ride anything near a truck, and there's just so much that I think bikers are using more common sense than people in cars when they're around trucks, because generally I don't have bikes doing anything stupid around me, except in LA,
right
with those sports bikes, but in other places, not just LA, but other towns, and even out in the middle of nowhere. But generally I don't see them out in the country. I usually see them in town. So it's really not been much of a problem. Just everybody just use some common sense and just don't stick around a truck.
I'm going to throw this
around.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I was going to say, Russell's right in that, truck drivers are more alert and more aware of what's going on for a lot of reasons. One, that's our livelihood.
Exactly.
We have a Class A CDL driver's license that we're trying to, keep clean. We're under a lot heavier regulations when it comes to the laws. We end up, if we have accidents, we get more, more points put on our records. Which can affect our jobs. There are companies out there that'll fire you for one accident. So
yeah, we fall under the CSA now. CSA score,
right? Yeah, CSA score, which is it's about how we drive. It's about our equipment. If it's safe. If we have it,
it's not just traffic violations; it's everything, all the safety concerns.
So we have to be more alert and more aware of things, because we're out there trying to make sure that we're representing as professional drivers. We're trying to represent ourselves in a good light with the public out there, but. at the same time, we're also trying to protect our livelihood. And
Right on.
and it's I'm not saying that all law enforcement looks at truck drivers as the culprits behind every accident, but it does seem that a lot of times the truck driver ends up being the one blamed for this accident or that accident.
And that's usually not the LEO. Like Chewy's over here shaking his head. No, we don't
That's
look at
that's total opposite of when I go to an accident involving a truck. It's totally opposite the way I think.
Usually the blame comes after.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the legal system and insurance and everything, all that other stuff. That's usually when things get blamed on us. But usually the guys, the LEOs that come to the scenes of accidents. Now, I haven't been involved in an accident in my truck, in any of my rigs, but I don't think with the ones I have had to stop for, I don't see the LEOs looking at the driver. They're just trying to get the facts and put it all in a report. That's all they're trying to do.
I will tell you this, there might be some good insight. I think that depends a lot, and I understand what Steve's saying too, Stephen. I agree to a certain extent, and a lot of that is lack of education. I can tell you because I've come from a state agency where we handled a lot of the scales and dealing with trucks, and we knew how to do inspections. I didn't do specifically, but we were all trained in it, and I did. Part of my job was that. Then I come to a city municipal agency, and so hopefully this is really good insight for people. And I will tell you, I've been with a city municipal agency, but I bring my state experience with me. These guys don't know anything about trucks or the trucking industry. They really don't.
No.
I will tell you straight up, most of them refuse to even stop trucks because they just don't know. It scares them. And I try to teach them.
They're not going to do level 3s.
They aren't. They don't even know what that is.
Okay.
I know, and maybe that's a misconception in the trucking industry that all law enforcement agencies, I bet the county, I bet certain county deputies don't know that either. They don't get training on it. Really, your state agencies are the ones that get training on commercial vehicle and, and doing, level 1, 2, 3 inspections, depending on what kind of equipment they have. But it's funny coming from there. And I was actually reserved with the county agency before, so I can tell you from my own personal knowledge, they don't know crap about it either.
I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing.
So I would tell you guys in the truck industry that it's a lack of education. And so when they're investigating that, they're not understanding some of the things and, when it comes to the trucking industry.
At an accident scene?
Right, at an accident scene. So we have, luckily our city municipal agency, we have a traffic unit, and some of us are versed in that, and so we can handle that. We actually have our own commercial vehicle officers within a city agency. That's a new thing. A lot of city agencies are...
They're going to that now.
The feds are...
Well, there's
the
revenue.
Feds are funding it. There is revenue. And unfortunately, there is. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that.
No.
That's a whole nother topic.
Look at Illinois. I mean, that's all they do to make money.
Right.
I mean, every level 3, 1, 2, 3, they get money from the feds for.
So does that help at all, Steve?
Yeah, that explains.
And you guys that really, I'm telling you, they're not that educated on it. I tell them, treat it like a car, at least at base value, treat it.
I think the officers on the scene of an accident are really just trying to dig for what happened. And they're not there to give blame on anybody. They're just there to, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong,
right?
I've always thought that they're just there to collect the evidence or whatever you want to call it, and to document.
Then they're supposed to find here in Washington, they're supposed to find an at-fault driver, and the at-fault driver is supposed to be cited
on the scene.
And that's between the NHTSA and between insurance companies. Most agencies, I don't know about you guys, but 2 agencies I've worked for, they require you to find the at-fault driver and to cite the, it's mandatory that you cite the at-fault driver. Now, I'm not saying that's in every state, but here in Washington, it is that way across the state. So if you are found at fault, you're going to get a citation. It's almost mandatory in this state.
I'll be darned.
So it's interesting how it varies throughout the country.
From state to state. And Tennessee, I don't think that's the case. It don't seem like
I wish it was that way. Trust me, most of us wish it was that way. Your way.
That would be less paperwork for you.
Because we're forced to sometimes,
you just got to figure out.
The guy's already in an accident. He knows he's at fault. Do I really need to give him a ticket? And they do mandate it.
Wow.
And so, Stephen, you have anything on that?
Yeah, you're right. What you said is true. In that you take like highway patrols and that kind of agencies. They're really up on what's going on with trucking, truck laws and so forth. But you get down into some of the cities, you're right. Some of the city police departments and so forth don't really understand what the laws are for trucks.
True.
So but when it comes to like rear end accidents, in California, you have if somebody hits my truck from the rear, a lot of times that truck driver is going to be cited because they look at it like that truck applied his brakes too soon or something of that nature. So I agree that certain agencies are not up on trucks, but you get out, you get the state agencies, highway patrols, and that type of thing, and they're much more. I think they're trained a whole lot more in depth when it comes to trucking laws and so forth.
Yeah, most highway patrol is.
But. Yeah, and that's unfortunate on the rear end thing.
Yeah, I was listening. I was going to say, I was like, wow.
In my view, if you're rear-ending a truck, you're at fault.
Yeah, and you're
because
stupid.
Think about how
you rear-end anything, you're at fault.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
And think about how long it takes a truck to come to a stop.
Yeah, right.
Keep your butt back. If you're rear-ending a truck, you're at fault.
Whoa. On
More
TV,
likely they were
Chewy's going to get another complaint.
I know you like to rear-end trucks, Oscar, but
them doors are open. I don't know if that was that funny, really. Jeez.
He got you good.
God, he did. Burn.
Quite honestly,
You button hooked me up.
Quite honestly, he'll rear-end anybody.
Oh, that is.
Ooh.
Ask Chewy why he knows that.
And I'm sitting here on the couch with him. Come on now.
I put those pillows there for a reason. Not to stop you, it's to stop me.
One other thing I'll bring up too.
That's disgusting.
When you're beside a truck at speed, on an interstate or something like that, and you decide to sit beside it, that's a huge vehicle going down the road, and it's going to make it's going to do a lot of it's cutting through the wind, and you're going to get a lot of different wind forces going on while you're beside that truck. So
and even way behind before you even get up to them.
Right. When I'm on my bike and I'm passing a truck, I've seen riders, that'll get right up alongside me and pass me and pass me really close. I try to get reposition my bike so that I'm kind of farther away from the side of that truck because of the turbulence that's going on. I've actually seen accidents where a motorcycle was actually sucked up underneath the trailer, or blown off into a guardrail or something of that nature. So I think it's important to understand that the wind turbulence that's going on
I agree.
A truck rolling down the highway.
Because I was thinking of that earlier tonight. It's like we need to talk about that too, because even in crosswinds, whenever you got crosswinds going on, there's all kinds of things, turbulent wind problems happening around a truck, aren't there, Steve? Even coming through under a trailer, crosswinds will go through. Mm-hmm. And especially flatbeds and stuff, there's different, but even with a reefer that you're pulling, it's going to be hairy to say the least, right?
Right. Yeah. You get up in front of that truck, you'll come up on it and you're getting different turbulence from the rear of the truck. Then it changes again as you pass it. As you get in front of it, then you're going to get hit, you're going to get different crosswinds coming on, coming at you and from the side. So, you have to be really cautious, especially on a motorcycle. In a car, you might have a little bit more control when it comes to wind, but not on a bike. On a bike, you're kind of flapping in the breeze as it is. What I mean? So,
well, and then weather.
Yes.
If you're riding in weather, what do you think of this, Steve? Now, I know I usually see everything around me, but in heavy downpour rains, if you're going to go by a truck, that's getting really hairy, in my opinion. And I would suggest you turn your brights on if you haven't got them on, or as many lights as you got up there, just so we can see you. Good to know.
Absolutely. You know, in heavy rain and things like that, you know, a lot of the trucks now have the spray guards that are along their on the trailers and along, you know, on their fenders and that type of thing to keep the spray down. But a lot of trucks aren't. So
yeah, mine's.
You know, you're going to get a heavy. You know, you get a lot of heavy spray from the tires that are coming off the roadway, and you know, a lot of times you pass in a truck or something of that nature, and you'll see. You know, it can be blinding through there. So you know, you have to
a lot of water. Yeah.
A lot of water, absolutely.
Yeah, I've had experiences with that.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up get past that.
Yeah.
I mean, quick. Interesting on the turbulence, there can be situations, depending on how that's working and crosswinds and things, and you can, again, the point of getting by or getting back, one of the two, I think is kind of the moral of the story, get by or get back. Yeah. Hey, that's isn't that catchy?
Oh, yeah.
Say it again.
Get by or get back. I just coined it.
Wow, that was
get
beautiful.
By or get back. I just came up with that
trademark
shit.
It. Trademark it.
That's got dollar signs all over.
Dollar signs, yeah, totally.
Get by or get back.
I like it.
Those situations are the way the turbulence is can actually put some motorcycles into a death wobble.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
because we've all felt it going by, and I have investigated some things where that is what they said was the cause of it, and I have to think that it's because they weren't experienced riders and they got in that turbulence and whatever it was just right, and they started wobbling.
They fought it,
and they either didn't back off or they just freaked and stayed there.
Yeah,
you got to get through that. Or
punch
or get back.
Yeah,
do something. And you know, it's very rare to have those perfectly where it would cause that severe. And that's a lot of that is rider experience, I think. I was thinking, you know, but it can. And so there you go. You know, for bikers listening is freaking get on it and get through it.
Yeah, definitely,
and are back the hell off. Yeah. What do you think about that, Oscar?
I don't know what happened. Took a nap for a sec.
We got good information.
I was still thinking get by or get back. I got lost in that for a sec.
This is a great conversation.
I was pondering that. You know what I was thinking is, you guys are talking about same lane, but I was thinking, a lot of the time, especially when I ride by myself, when I'm not passing trucks.
Most of the time, nobody wants to ride with you, but
why do we got to go there? You're a jerk. Anyway, oncoming trucks in heavy winds also create a different...
On a 2-lane?
Yeah, on a 2-lane.
Out on 24. Whew.
When I ride, I move all the way over. I stay off the center line and move all the way to the fog line because I've had trucks push me, the wind coming off the truck, feet. Push me, or pull, either way, several feet. I'm like, man, that's crazy.
You don't want to be pulled.
I'll push or pull. I'll either.
I heard that about you.
I'm good. Push and pull.
It's a scary thing.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you're right.
When I'm riding with my MC, you know, we'll ride handlebar to handlebar. When we come up on a truck, a lot of times we'll stagger it out. You know, just because, you know, you're getting that turbulence in there, and handlebar to handlebar, you don't have that much room anyway. So, you know, we try to stagger it as we pass.
That's what I was talking about earlier. It's those minute little mistakes that can cost you your life.
Yeah, that can turn into a fatality. Yeah, absolutely. Good information. We're going to keep rocking and rolling with this. Chewy is looking at, do you know where you can get a set of those convex tires for his recap, or convex mirrors for his recap tires? He's trying to find some convex mirrors for his bike.
Oh my God.
So he can see everything clearly.
He's trying to find some convex caps for his retires.
Oh, you guys. I love it. We have 2 patrons right now on the podcast.
This is an awesome topic.
This is an awesome topic, and I'm probably going to split it into 2 episodes, but it's okay. Right now, I just want to say we love our patrons. We want to get everybody as a patron, of course, because it's a much closer relationship, that private Facebook group, of course. If you're in the area, we try to get you hooked up. Matt Pass was recently, but in the area, we couldn't get him hooked up, but next time he comes. But Russell's been here twice. We got Steven Stratton on the horn. We love our patrons. We love our patrons. What I'm trying to say is if you don't want to become a patron and you can't right now, we also appreciate the flat donation. So, Russell, since you're in the house, do you want to thank these donators?
William Richardson of Hayes, Kansas. Cliff Carter of Denton, Texas. Paul Vogel of San Diego, California. That was a substantial one. You want me to read his little note?
He left a little note.
Yeah, he did. He says, "Hey, Ryan, glad I can help the cause. Besides, because of your video, I easily installed a stage 1 kit on my street glide and grew a pair and removed the gas tank. If it wasn't for your help, I would have been out of a lot more money than $50 and probably still be trying to get those damn Allen screws out. Keep up the great work."
Thanks, Paul. And these ones too. Here, let's finish it up.
Yeah, and Victor Burnett of Danielson, Connecticut, also a patron. And Rick Kemner of Troy, New York. I know he's a patron. And he put in a good size donation there. And John Mills of Thatcham, Berkshire, UK.
Shout out, United Kingdom.
Awesome.
I love it.
Worldwide.
That's right, guys. lawabidingbiker.com/donate and take action. And we really appreciate it. Like I say, we'd love to have you involved in the Patron because you get benefits and we get to know you better in the private Facebook group. But we're never going to balk at a flat donation, Oscar.
What you?
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to balk.
Well, that's a good word.
That's what I thought.
I was going to say
it was small but useful.
We thanked Victor.
What's that?
We thanked Victor twice. He must have.
Oh, did I?
He must have given us quite a good donation there.
Oh, yeah, well, he's also a patron. See,
yeah.
And
pretty big deal. Pretty big deal.
We find that with a lot of our patrons, they also donate, and it just humbles me, and it's so much appreciated. We can keep on heading down the road, guys. So, all right, what else about? I have some follow-up stuff when we get there, but you guys, this is your show, so this is your chance. Here's the deal. Like I say, I never thought that when we started Patron, I really didn't have an idea for it, but I didn't know that I'd ever have you guys in the studio or on the podcast. I just go with the roll. I just go with the flow. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, I have no plan. And I'm like, that seems like a really good idea. These guys are freaking from all walks of life. I know that they have good information. So you've seen over the time I've used them.
Oh, yeah.
And I have the mics, I have the mixers, and I have the tech skills. So if I can bring more people and more experience and more points of view to the biker community, I feel like that's the way we're going with this. If we know we have our regular hosts and stuff, but any time that it works out, I hope the audience is good with that, of getting all these patrons involved in different. I mean, there's no training, just hop on a mic and let's just talk. And I think that it opens up new things that we could never provide, because you guys, I'm not a truck driver. I'm not, I can't do that. I could give you what I research. So yeah. What do you say about that, Russell?
Oh, I think that's awesome, because, it brings in more knowledge. And when we can discuss it, it brings more out.
Right. Sitting down as bikers, just like this, like Steven said earlier, and having a few beverages. I hope Steven's having a beverage on his end.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Cheers there, buddy.
Well, you're born to podcast because you're doing great. And that's what I found is most guys, if you it's a casual conversation, don't make it into something big.
That's all it is. We've all sat around and, shot the shit. I mean, who hasn't done that?
Let's just record
all we're
it.
doing it.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing.
Right.
And recording it.
Yeah.
In a high-tech way.
Yeah, in a very high-tech way.
Yeah, this ain't no cassette recorder.
And I know Russell, I can get you if we ever need to remotely, because Russell's the high-tech redneck, and he's got I know he's got ATR 2100s or SM58s, and I know he can get,
I got the 2100s.
2100s, we can definitely do it remotely. So, it's awesome having you guys in here and getting this point of view. So, what else about this, so I guess what I was getting at with that whole little deal there, and thanks to you guys for being involved. You guys got this platform right now, and we reach a lot. You guys know our audience. We have a huge audience, and I really do think that these are the type of things. I have some notes on some things at the end that I want to recap, some general rules, for riding around trucks. But I really think if we can get this out, and I'm going to do an article with it, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever number this is. That's why I'm taking notes. Because there wasn't a lot of information on it. I Googled it. And that's why I was like,
there's not.
That's why I got in touch with you two guys. I'm like, okay. And I even
Googled today looking for information. I'm like, well, there's got to be some more stuff I'm not thinking of, but no, there isn't.
We're going to nail SEO on this,
Yeah.
And that's good. So I want to make sure it's correct. And when people listen, so we're reaching bikers around the world. As you saw, a donation from UK. This is really it really doesn't matter what country you're from.
Australia, Israel, all kinds of places.
Right from this bonus room right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, except those guys don't pass on the left.
You're right, but it doesn't matter.
See?
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They're okay.
I had to go there, sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Oscar.
No
I love it.
Don't pass on the left, right.
Hey, even in the UK, a truck will still fucking kill you.
Oh, yeah.
It will, man.
Sure will.
Oh, yeah.
That's universal language.
It'll tear the bloody hell out of you. All right.
There's no doubt.
Make you bloody. Yeah. So what else? What else? Let's keep going down this rabbit hole because we're gonna. I will pump this into 2 episodes.
Well, we've already kind of, bitched about some things.
One thing I'll say on that on the topic is, you know, another aspect of it is, I drive nights, so I'm out on the road at night, and if you're passing a truck at night, a lot of let's face it, we're out there on the road for hours and hours. A lot of times, they talk about your biorhythm as far as sleep is concerned, and there's certain times when you're going to be fatigued, even if you've gotten enough sleep. The driver is going to still be fatigued, and you're going to have to be a little, be cautious when you're passing trucks at night because that driver might be really, might be bone tired, or he's been staring at the road at some straight road for hours at a time, and he might be dozing or whatever.
He might have problems at home he's thinking about. Yeah,
sure, absolutely. There's that possibility that he might move over into your lane. So you want to get on by that truck as fast as you can get by it.
Yep. Good. Yeah. Good call on that. And
night driving is,
and right before, and I know the guys in this room too can test that because we've all worked graveyards is right at sunset.
Oh,
even as or
sunrise
or sunrise. Sorry. You're just like,
right.
Oh, it just nails
before,
you. Just sea monsters.
It hit me every time.
I don't care how much sleep I've had. It never fails. At 5 a.m. in the morning, just as that sun's starting to come up, it just starts hitting me.
Yeah. Steve, when I was hauling groceries, we always left the warehouse midnight, 1 o'clock. And, by 5:30, well, depending on time of year, but, just before daybreak and right at daybreak, that's the killer time. It's like, God, I just want to stop, take a nap.
Yeah. Wow. It's like that now. We work 6 to 6, and especially in the summer, that sun starts coming up. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah. Again, like Steve says, it doesn't matter how much sleep you have. There's just something about those witching hours. It's just like, oh my God. I remember that. I haven't done that in a long time, but I know. And I never will again in my career. But
I will.
I have enough seniority.
You got it now, don't you?
I got enough seniority. I'll never work another night in my life.
Oh, that's good.
You will when I call you at 3 o'clock in the morning over and over and over. What do you think, Chewy, tomorrow night? Someone's sleeping. Oh, yeah, okay. I was just checking because we're working nights right now.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Right, yeah, we call it, we get into that 500-mile stare, they call it sometimes, It's just, and
at nighttime, that's the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to be like, motorists that are around trucks need to be aware of the fact that the truck drivers out there could be sleepy.
Or human.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think people, just on my standpoint, I think people take for granted what you guys actually do. We talk about the heartbeat of America and red, white, and blue bleeding Americans that believe in our country and believe in hard work and making a living. You guys are what keeps our country running. You bring us goods, you bring us food, you bring us clothing, you bring us everything that we need. And I don't think that, if people would just sit back and understand that and just go, you know what, these guys are driving long miles, they work hard, they keep our country running, give them a break, back off.
Thanks, man.
If they're in the left-hand lane, back away. Let them get around. Let them get over to the right-hand lane. And then if you want to pass in the left-hand lane, go ahead. But these guys work hard. I'm going to cry right now.
No,
do you have some tissue?
I'm not kidding, dude. It is. Chewy. I love it.
I've always thought this.
I'm straight up feeling
this is
dude.
what keeps our country running.
Yeah.
When you think about gas prices, you think about all these things. These guys work hard.
Yep.
And it's hard to be a truck driver.
It is.
You're driving, day and night. You're away from your family. You know what? More people need to appreciate the job that you guys do because it's hard. I mean, I don't do it, but I know that I appreciate it, and it's hard work. So,
well, it's totally glorious. I mean,
it is.
They did a survey at one point, and with one of the trucking publications, and it said it stated that if trucks were to completely shut down for 3 days,
oh God,
there wouldn't be anything there would be nothing in the stores.
Nothing in the grocery store.
You think there's chaos right now because of the election?
Wait, just
3 days of that happening, you'd see chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. It would just send this country into a tailspin.
That's how critical trucking is.
Absolutely. Chewy,
thanks,
you're the man.
That was beautiful.
I believe in hardworking Americans. And truckers,
amen to that.
And truckers are.
You want it all.
Oh yeah, we sacrifice a lot. I mean, shit, I'm usually away from home for a couple weeks at a time, and it sucks. I didn't want to go back to that.
At least you're in the lab studio tonight.
Yeah, that's one of the
on a Coors Light and
coming
around.
And yeah, no doubt, man, that was delicious.
Eating a steak and potato. That we try to treat you well, buddy.
With some pretty damn good-looking guys too.
Yeah. So what the hell? That's the perks, and I get to see family and friends all over the country, and you guys are in that group now, and it's
absolutely
it's just I don't know, but I'm away from home. I mean, I've been on the road basically now for 3 weeks. I mean, I stopped in for 1 day off week and a half ago. And then I went through, I mean, it was basically a stop through Friday, but nobody was home because they were at the family reunion, which I couldn't go to because I'm out here trying to work.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we, give up.
Yep. Absolutely. A lot of time.
So
with
many
the family.
people don't know what that means.
Do you know what that needs?
It's not just.
Well, it's one of the reasons.
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
It's one of the reasons that the trucking industry is so short of drivers now. You know, because nobody really wants to. It's a huge sacrifice that a person makes to go into this industry and to make a living this way.
It's a lifestyle change.
Right, and it's really and a lot of people, they just do not want. I mean, there's other ways to make money, and so we're experiencing a huge driver shortage right now because of that,
Well, not to get sidetracked or go down a rabbit hole, but
no, that's good.
Budweiser just ran a 120-mile route without a driver.
Whoa! Yeah, right.
You read about that too, Steve?
That's right. Technology is getting to a point now, now where
really,
where they've tested a truck that they can now back up into a dock remotely. The driver actually gets out of the truck, and they use a joystick situation where they can actually back that truck in. There's going to come a day when trucks will probably be automated.
Wow. I did not know that.
It's not too far away, is it?
There may still be somebody in that cab, probably
minimum wage worker that just monitors things.
Monitors things, similar to say a guy that's running a streetcar or something of that nature.
Yeah,
I think then I have a future.
Oscar has a future.
He's looking at that for
the easiest possible job I could find.
A retirement job.
You could just doze off and nobody would know.
Yeah, exactly. No one would know I existed. That's even better.
I know my equipment now has the alert system in it if I'm getting too close to a vehicle or and we have cameras now that are forward facing in the trucks.
And they're going to have cameras facing the driver before long. They're going to mandate that. But
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But we're on e-logs now.
Right.
And all kinds of things are changing.
Yeah. It's going to continue with technology.
One question I didn't ask before. You guys can only drive 11 hours.
Right.
How do they document that? Is that on a log?
Well, you're supposed to document it on paper, or the e-log documents it. It's hooked up to the engine, and there's no way of fibbing.
See, on the old log books were paper, and you could fib on them a lot if you knew how to trick it,
Well,
with
loose
the e-logs.
And loose leaf logs. I used to run loose leaf, and And, I used to be able to manipulate the shit out of that thing. But, and I still never had an accident.
Right,
but
right. It is what it is. It's a hard industry.
It's common sense. You use your common sense. And even though you might legally, technically be out of bounds, but yet, you're using common sense. And then there's days whenever you couldn't run a full gamut and you don't. I mean, you just take that break and you sleep. And I've gotten in trouble for that too.
Yep.
So it's like,
that's what I mean by it's a tough industry. People don't realize that. And I have an understanding of that. You got to make money,
Yeah. And that's what it boils down to. We're out here to make money. We're not out here because it's fun.
Right.
What do you mean it's not super glorious and no one's throwing parties and stuff for you?
Yeah.
When you get home.
I didn't. Maybe when you get home.
Especially with Russell, he, as an owner-operator, an individual that's running his own business and his own truck, that truck doesn't make money unless it's moving.
Right.
Exactly.
So he's got to,
it's got to have freight on it.
With the industry is regulated itself to a point, now with e-logs and all that it's actually cut into the profit margin a lot of times especially for the owner-operator because he's under such stringent rules, but
and
you can only drive that truck a certain amount of time and
I can't even
go a certain speed.
I can't even take the maximum 11 hours of driving because too many times I would end up bumping over a few minutes and e-logs documents that.
Right.
And that's a flag.
Yeah.
Against you.
I don't think the general public understands the amount of federal regulations you guys are under.
Ridiculous.
I understand it, but the general public has no freaking clue.
Do you know what
what you guys are under?
FMCSA, the book that regulates us,
the Code of Federal Regulations.
It is so thick. I mean, it's comparable. You're getting into the IRS territory of document. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
and it's ever increasing.
Yeah, and back in the day, there was a lot of bad stuff going on, but like usual, the pendulum I feel, even as a Leo, I'm telling you, it went way too far. And I hope that most, I know there's a lot of different Leos out there, but I hope for the most part, a majority of them use common sense because
I don't think
so overregulated.
Not
it kills
in commercial enforcement.
See, thank you for telling me that. I don't deal with that anymore. That sucks.
Yeah.
Because that just hampers. I mean, there needs to be some safety things, but good God.
It's overboard. It's overboard.
It is. It's killing the small.
And that's why a lot of guys are getting out.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Right. That's another reason that we have a driver shortage because, the drivers that are in the industry now are fed up. They're so scrutinized anymore that they just say, you know what, there's got to be a better way to make a living than to go through this, and face different, fines of, fines have gone out of sight. You get an overweight ticket anymore. It's over $1,000 sometimes just for an overweight ticket. So
right,
and they're getting so picky on that stuff now. What they used to let us slide by with,
right, and
it's like all of a sudden you're like, you're sitting there with this heavy ticket. And you're like, what?
Yeah, like how am I going to pay this?
Right.
You guys used to let us go over, on 1,000 pounds. And, yeah, exactly, Steve. It's.
I hope that can change a little bit over time, and they can. That's my hope is they can just find a medium ground. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't see it.
Yeah. God.
I can understand, the rules, regulations because, when a truck has an accident, usually it's horrific. There's death, there's a lot of carnage involved in truck wrecks. So I can understand, where the federal government's, trying to step in and stop some of this, but you're right, they've gone to way beyond what's really necessary, I think.
Exactly. And there's more coming down the pike. I mean, they're already talking about speed regulation, regulators on the trucks.
Yeah, boy.
And it's like, you want to increase accidents? That's my opinion. I mean, they're talking about 60-mile-an-hour governors on trucks.
That's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy.
And that can end up actually creating
increasing
accidents because you got this slow vehicle running down the road now, and people are up to they're 5 and 10 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Or worse, in other states, Utah, the speed limit's 85, and you got a 60-mile-an-hour truck, not just one, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all of them. It's not a matter of this company's got their trucks regulated and this, all of them are going to be regulated at 60, and you're going to have backlogs, traffic jams when other trucks, because the weight will,
Right.
If I'm lighter than this guy, I'm not going to sit here behind him the whole time, but the most I can do is 60. So once I get up to 60 and he's doing 57 because he slowed down up the grade, well, it's going to take us a while. And then everybody gets backed up behind us.
Right.
Well, they get aggravated. And it's proven that traffic jams cause accidents.
Yep.
And it may not be the truck, but it's because the cars, they're all getting frustrated back there.
Next thing you know, you got a guy like Oscar doing 90 up the shoulder.
Exactly.
Deep trunk
and I've had people pass me on the shoulder, and it's like, what are you doing? But anyway, and then the dozing, the drowsiness at going only 60.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Whew. Talk about more accidents because guys are going to fall asleep because they're going so slow.
True.
68 really wakes me up.
One of the major thoroughfares in highways in California is Interstate 5, which runs, the length of the state.
Yeah, all the way.
And, there's thousands of trucks running up and down that highway, going into Los Angeles, going up north, up into the other states of Oregon and Washington. And, a truck will be running down the road, say 62 miles an hour, whatever. Maybe it's governed, its engine's governed, and that's the speed it can do. And it gets up, it gets up on a truck that maybe is doing 54 miles an hour or 55 miles an hour, and it decides to come out and pass. And it's still only doing 62, and you got cars out there in that fast lane on a 2-lane, interstate that's running 90. They come running up on that back end of that truck, and next thing you know, you have a rear end accident.
And it happens too, yeah. Well, California's already got a truck speed limit of 55.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right, 55 miles an hour.
It's crazy. And, your split speed limit state here. The only split speed limit states are here on the West Coast. In Montana, Idaho, and then these 3 West Coast states. And then Indiana is 5 miles difference, and then Michigan. The rest of the country doesn't have split speed limits.
Right.
And I'm like, well, it's not really being enforced to a degree, to where it's really, because trucks aren't going to sit down there, here at 60, I think.
Right.
So I cruise at 63, 64.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And
it's you're
like,
fine there, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, well, that's just so damn slow, especially, and this is not a flat state. So you got mountains, and it's like, God almighty, you expect us to be doing 60 at the bottom?
Right. Yeah.
No way,
not
man.
Getting a little momentum going.
It's like, how are we going to get over this thing without dropping 5 gears and, wasting a ton of fuel?
Right.
When we could have been doing a little better momentum at the bottom.
Right.
And gotten over with less fuel. And that's the way I look at things because I'm paying for that fuel.
No, I think that's the way most truck drivers do. Yeah.
I mean, at $2 a gallon, it ain't too bad right now. But, it wasn't that long ago. We were almost $5 a gallon for diesel.
Right.
And that stuff's like gold then.
Right.
But, and who knows what the future holds.
You could just be like Oscar and just run red fuel.
Oh, yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, I was going to say,
speed
too,
limit.
that California, and I believe in a lot of states, truckers are regulated to the right-hand lane, the farthest right-hand lane. And unless they need to pass, and then they'll get out. They're allowed to, that if it's a 3-lane highway, then they're allowed to run, pass in the second lane.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, my advice to motorcyclists and to people in cars, if you're going to run 80, 90 miles an hour, stay out there in that fast lane, because you start getting, you like mountain passes, like Russell was saying, truck's going to be moving 35 miles an hour max, probably up a grade, and if he gets out and passes a truck that's going like 20, you're running 80 miles an hour in that second lane, you're gonna be eating that guy's trailer.
Yeah.
So
good call.
But I know, Steve, have you been over Tejon Pass? I'm sure you have.
Yes, Absolutely.
Well, we pulled my truck and camper trailer, but that was a real dance, and I really appreciated going
with dyed fuel.
Hey, my kid said it was pretty.
Dyed fuel.
It's fine. I watch these guys driving big trucks, and that's a real dance going over. That thing goes flat I-5 to 4,200 feet to flat again. Not like around here where we have hills and then mountains. This was just flat, mountain flat. And guys going, I watch the guys trying to get a little speed, and it makes a huge difference, 5-10 miles an hour. And then we'd hit the up, and all the lanes are blocked because that one guy's going 65, one guy's going 62. And I'm like, it's a mess. It becomes an absolute mess because what do you do when you get that much elevation that quickly?
You just keep, you just go. Yeah. That's all you can do is what you can. But
they have more on the Grapevine, which is the highway, wonderful. That goes down into Los Angeles. You're right. It climbs. It
goes on forever.
It goes on forever. It's a huge steep climb, and they have more rear end accidents on that one stretch of road through there because people just won't slow down. I guess that's my advice. You're getting into these steep grades and things. Maybe it's not a good idea to be flying down the road at 90 miles an hour. Maybe you might want to just back off it a little bit. And
I agree with you, Steve. It's common sense, and it's just use common sense when you're around trucks.
Russell, that's a really big phrase. That's a big phrase that a lot of people don't understand. I don't know how you can just throw it around like it's so easy, but oh gosh.
Yeah. Here's a deal too that I want to say.
What?
And I even catch our crew doing it sometime. I really try to stay away from it. Just some of the training I've been through is, it's one thing to follow a truck close. The problem is that people don't understand is regardless of the recaps blowing or all that, a truck, let's just say there's a 2x4 in the road. A truck's going to straddle the 2x4 and it's a joke. But if you're following so effing close that by the time that truck straddles it and you see it, you don't even have time to react. And it drives me nuts. And I see some of our guys do it sometimes. I try not to do it. We're going to do some training here with the crew and just some reminders of things like that.
I'm glad you brought this up because I was thinking of this earlier.
Dangerous,
there's crap on the road.
Yeah, you guys you're like, whatever, I'll just straddle it. And then the biker's like right behind you, like, too late.
That was what I was going to say. Following a truck, whenever we might maneuver and we might hit the line, and Steve, you've probably done this too. Put half the truck on the shoulder, because there's something in the tire, in the tread, line of the lane. And I've done it too, recaps, there's a lot of times that's what's going to be in the road. Or I've even seen metal parts and things. I'll tell you something else that you got to watch out for. And this happened to me. I wasn't on a bike. I was in my truck, but we was going around Indianapolis and I was in the middle lane. 465 has 3 lanes, sometimes 4, but here it had 3 lanes. I was in the middle lane. I was passing an Estes truck, which is pulling doubles. In front of him was a contractor of some kind, like a concrete contractor, and he's got his, machines on this like low flatbed trailer that he's pulling behind his 1-ton, and he's got some boards. Well, a 2x12 that was probably 2 foot long slid off the back of his trailer, and then there's nothing you can do. We're in traffic. We're moving. We're doing 60. The Estes truck, you can hear this board slap when he goes over it. It was so loud. You can hear this board slap under the front tire, under his drive tire. Then it hit the first dolly. When it got back to the dolly between the trailers, he was pulling pups. That board went airborne.
Yeah.
And it hit my truck.
Ooh.
Oh.
And it slid a slice out of the side of my cab.
That's all Russell did.
I got that Estes truck pulled over later, but that's road hazard.
Yeah.
Right.
And there, that stuff happens too. And if you're on a bike, you're
Yikes.
dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's the exact reason I when I first brought this subject up in an email to Ryan, it was that kind of a situation. I was on a mountain path road that was real windy. And I was moving, fairly slow, maybe 45, 50 miles an hour through some of these curves, and I had a motorcyclist. I mean, he was right on my trailer. I mean, right there, and I had a tree branch in the road that I had to straddle, and that thing I straddled that thing, and that biker, I don't know how he did it, but he just missed that. He just missed
Yikes.
that. But if he'd hit that thing, he would have been gone. And so I guess that brings up the fact don't get right in behind a truck's trailer, because you don't know what's coming out from behind that thing.
Exactly.
Yep, you can't see ahead on the road. You can't react, and like I say, even our guys, we get a little lazy on it sometime, and it's a good reminder because even following a big pickup truck, same thing, same concept. If you can't see ahead and you're following so close and you're trying to push them out of the left lane, you see that all the time. You'll see bikers get up, and the car's going slow and they're trying to, or aggressive drivers, and they're trying to push them into the right lane. You are just setting yourself up for failure, because that car is going to straddle something and you ain't got any time to react when it comes out from behind those axles. Or if they hit it, like you say, even worse, Russell, and it pops up. It goes
airborne.
And it's an easy thing. It's easy. You think you're in control. We always have to remember, as motorcyclists, we're not, as a driver and you're on a bike and you feel like you're in control and all that, you're not. There are elements. Give yourself space. It's like, don't follow so damn close.
Gives you safety.
Yes. Time to react. Reaction time is everything.
Right.
No time is good for dead time.
Trailers are equipped with mud flaps too, but that doesn't, stop that small rock or whatever from flipping up. And how many of us have been driving our cages down the road and
get a windshield chipped.
Windshield chipped or something. Well, that's going to feel pretty bad on a half helmet.
Yes,
and it gets you in the face.
Yeah. Funny story. 6 weeks ago, no shit that you bring that up, Stephen. I'm glad. So this is no shit. And I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't even following close, but I was riding down I-82 here just outside of town at about 65, 70 miles an hour, left lane. I still to this day don't know exactly which vehicle it came from, but this was 6 weeks ago. And one of those, and I've been riding a long time and I've been hit by rocks before. One of those vehicles, and there was a couple big rigs, so I'm sure it came from one of those. It just is what it is. They can fling some big rocks. And that thing hit me. I thought it broke my leg. I really did. It was the size, probably about 3/4 of my fist big. And I didn't even see it coming. Still didn't see it. And it hit my shin so fucking hard. My whole shin was bruised and black and blue. And, those are the type of things. And so that can happen when you're doing everything right, let alone, if you're putting yourself at extra risk by hanging out by the rear end of a semi truck.
You're too close, man. And
Yeah. So those things.
I followed, I've come up on like guys that are hauling what they call them transfer trucks, or they haul the dirt and the sand and that type of thing. And a lot of times they won't have that covered, and you get up too close to those things, that sand starts blowing, and you're basically getting sandblasted.
Yeah.
So you want to get on, I try to move over into another lane or whatever, try to get get past that truck. So there's so many different things that can come off of a truck. Tires can blow. There's on flatbeds, maybe the guy forgot to put his breaker bar that he uses to tie down his load. That's there's so many different things that can actually fly off of a truck.
Bungee cords.
Yes.
Corn spears, dude. Corn spears.
Right.
Oh yeah, uncovered corn haulers.
Oh god,
dude, I almost took one right in the melon.
Yeah,
dude.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I moved out of the way, let my wife take it right in the nose. Well, I don't know. I mean, she moved out of the way too. No, uncovered corn truck, and there was corn spears shooting out of the back of this truck. I'm like, holy shit, I backed off maybe a 1/4 mile behind it because We were on a 2-lane.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You don't even try to pass that.
No.
You're just scared.
Hurt.
Yeah.
I tell you guys about I know we're going long. We'll wrap this up, but this will be a good 2-episode deal. But no shit, like it's probably like 10 years ago. We were following, and it was nothing we could do about it. And it was like 110 degrees out on our way to Spokane from here. And fucking cattle holler, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I shit you.
Those are bad.
Oh, my God. I shit you not. Somehow that son of a bitch started rocking.
Yeah.
Well, all the shit and piss came out, and it fucking just mutilated like
man,
all over our bikes and our faces. It was the worst.
That's like a Dumb and Dumber movie.
We still tell stories about that to the day.
Too bad you didn't have a GoPro on that.
I'm scared to death of cattle trucks now.
Yeah, it would be.
It was not a joke. It was so sticky and just
good,
like
good odor.
Dude, good thing you didn't have Oscar with you. He would have made the guys pull over, and he would have done snow angels in the.
No, they would have been poo angels.
Oscar just walked up. Are those virgin cattle?
You married?
Are those cow? You got a pretty mouth.
Them are nice teats.
This is good.
We are off freaking track again.
That's what happens when you do a 2-hour podcast.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I got you guys on the hook. I want to break it down here before we move on. Both Steven and Russell, since I got you guys in here, are there any last things before we give after you give your final, if there's any things you want to say? I want to break it down to some general rules, basically a summary of what we've talked about, simple rules that bikers can follow. But are there any other big issues that you guys think need to be laid out on the table for the biker community?
Steve?
Yeah, no, I just want to, just make the public aware and bikers aware that, we're out there on the road, we're big vehicles, give us the space we need and get on by us. Don't hang around.
Yep, good. Get by or get back. I think
like
that's
that.
Yep, absolutely.
I like that.
I coined that. I got to write that down.
Yeah,
I should put it on the webpage.
I will. Get by or
Yeah,
get back.
I might submit that to the American trucking industry.
Attaboy, thank you.
Nice.
They might use that as their slogan.
Hell yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Get by or get back.
Oh, it makes sense now.
Yeah.
It does now. It's coming to you.
I pondered.
So I'll jump in here, Russell or Oscar or Chewy or Steven. So some takeaways that I have from here, because you guys educated me. Although I have my general rules, I don't understand how to break that down, I guess, and make it make sense. And from your guys' perspective, I was just doing it because it seemed reasonable to me to be the safest that I could when I was riding motorcycles. But I guess go to No Zone first, guys. I'll have a link in the show notes to the No Zone picture we're looking at here. Again, I go back to my what I said earlier is if you can't see the driver in the mirrors, then he can't see you. Get by, get back, come up. The way I do it, and I think all of us here at Law Abiding Biker, is I'll come up on the truck, the left rear quarter. We're passing on the left most of the time. They already talked about, both Steven and Russell hit it home to you guys straight up. If you didn't hear that, go back because they said it hundreds of times probably. And it should be a point that you take to heart, and that is don't pass on the right. When you look at this picture, there's a huge no zone that they can't see on that right side. The left side's a lot better, but about from that quarter front of the trailer up to the cab it is a no zone on the left side too, but that right side extends back. And if you don't think it's not just the interesting thing looking at this, guys, is it not only extends back the full length of the trailer, it goes well beyond the full length of the trailer.
Yeah.
That blind spot on that right side, and you guys call it the suicide zone.
Yeah.
And I want to write that
suicide
down.
Lane.
Suicide lane. And that's a good note. And I had never heard that. And although I knew that there was heavy blind spots on that side, honestly, before today, looking at this picture, I didn't realize that it extended that far. Oh. So that's even really good learning experience for me. Obviously, we talked about the rear, and they can't see you at all because they can't see past their trailer in those mirrors, and that extends way, way back before they get any visibility to the rear. And then on top of it, the point we talked about them coming up on a road hazard and being able to straddle it, no problem. And then you can't see. And if you're 10 feet.
That's why the no zone's behind the trailer.
Okay.
Because of that.
That's why they put
debris,
it
there. Tires blowing.
Debris. Okay.
Yeah.
And, there's one other thing I'll add into this as we end this is, we've been talking about following trucks and being beside trucks and that kind of thing. But, another thing, I've seen motorcyclists do this a lot. They'll ride, they'll be riding down the road and they'll be riding what we call the zipper or on a 2-lane highway, and positioning their bike right along the center line. You got a truck coming at you, and you're going to pass that. But again, with the wind, with the turbulence, as that truck goes by you, you're going to get all that turbulence hitting you, and you might find yourself instead of straddling that line, you might be across that line.
Well, another thing, that truck may come across that line. I was on my way to Sturgis last year. I was coming western Iowa. I was coming across 20, I think it was 20, US 20. And it was 2 lanes there for several miles before you get to Sioux City. And there was a curve, and it's pretty flat, but there was a curve in the road, and then and it come down a slope. And as I was coming toward that curve, this is cow country now. We're out in the middle of nowhere. There was 3 special trucks. Mm-hmm. There was 3 special kind of trucks, not regular semi trucks, but they were semi trucks, but they had some kind of logging, not maybe logging, but anyway, they had some kind of weird trailers on them. I can't remember exactly what they were, but the third one, the first 2 passed, they're flying. The first 2 passed, and then as that third one came around, I was coming up toward that curve, and he didn't stop continuing his curve, and he came over into my lane, and luckily I was already in the right side of that lane, and I got on the white line, and I still didn't know if I needed to go for the grass because this guy, he came halfway into my lane. So if I'd have been on that center line, I'd have been dead.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I run into that. I ran into a town called Fort Bragg, and I have to run down a Highway 20, which is an extremely hairpin turns in it, 20-mile-an-hour turns, and I can't get that trailer around some of those corners. I have to get out in that
the trailer will drag over. Yeah.
Right. So, when you're on mountain roads on a motorcycle or a car or whatever, you got, as you're coming around a corner or whatever, you got to be aware that maybe there might be a truck sitting in your lane. Be cautious.
And that might be the best time. Yeah, we ride a lot 2 abreast, but you might get it single file or staggered at least when you're running those mountain passes.
And in the southeast, we have a lot of those twisty roads that still have commercial traffic on them. Yeah. And some of them don't anymore because they ban commercial traffic in parks and different places. But there's still a lot of U.S. highways that have that commercial traffic on it. And they, like the Dragon now, the tail of the Dragon, everybody knows that commercial traffic is not supposed to go down that road anymore. But there's lots of other roads in the southeast, along the whole east, that are so narrow twisted that trucks still use. And they're like what Steve was saying there, their trailer, they're taking up the whole road almost because that's all they can do.
Right.
So when you're coming down through there, and most of the time when we're cruising on bikes like that, we're not running like, crotch rockets do like on the Dragon. And if you guys ever come down,
we will eventually.
Yeah. Got to do the Dragon. And you'll see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these guys are knee padding the road.
Wow.
On their bikes, on these crotch rockets. And they are screaming through that.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oscar likes knee padding, but that's after
what is
hours.
Is it pick on me night
it's
tonight?
After hours.
Jeez, did I pee in someone's Cheerios tonight? I am freaking leaving. I thought I had something to offer. Apparently not. Punching bag tonight. Nothing but love.
Blowing kisses.
Oh, can I get a hug or something?
Okay, so
no, it's good. It's good information, and no, I'm glad you brought that up to even further that. So yeah, that would be another takeaway is. It's fun to ride 2 abreast, and we do a lot of it. But yeah, definitely stagger up or single file on those mountain passes, just give them some extra room. Again, it goes back to the whole deal of just giving space, you know what I mean? And being aware of that. Obviously the front we talked about, that huge no zone in the front, to the point where Russell said he couldn't even see little Honda Civics sometimes if they get up, too close. So be aware, and again, he said common sense, but many people don't have it. Yeah. That don't be darting in front of a truck and then expect that truck's going to be able to stop. And I'll just tell you, as we go out here, that I have seen many fatality collisions between motorcyclists and cars and trucks. I have seen a lot of decapitations. I have seen bodies ripped in half. I have seen limbs missing. I have seen guts like a deer in the middle of the road. I've seen a lot of really bad stuff on motorcycles, things I shouldn't have seen probably. And I'll tell you that you will lose. And it's just not worth your life. And it comes down to respect. We all respect each other on the road as motorcyclists. We have a lot of truck drivers, professional truck drivers involved in law-abiding biker media. And we appreciate what you guys do so much. And so, hopefully this message gets out and it just gives you guys a little more, the biker community, a little more understanding, and let's all respect our professional truck drivers out there and not have our heads up our ass, for lack of a better term, and not be in a hurry, and just give them the space that they need so they can do the job that they need to do. And we want to keep all you guys safe out there, and brother. The biker community. And it's all about respect on the road, regardless whether it's a truck or another car. We can all get into those road rage incidents, or we can get frustrated. It's just not worth it at the end of the day, because nobody wins when a biker goes down, so to speak. Yep. So let's do a round table real quick. Oscar, start with you as we wrap this up. You have any closing comments? Not about cattle or sheep. Just
I have anything, so many.
Just something reasonable.
These Velcro gloves.
See, this isn't about mechanics. If we had a mechanics episode, it'd be all over it.
No, damn it,
Oscar.
No, I actually really liked hearing from professional drivers because when I ride, I don't stay next to trucks. I go past. But some people consider that aggressive driving. So I like hearing from professional drivers that's what you want us to do. So
exactly.
That's great.
And you said it, great. And that's good. And I've said it many times in this episode, because I know there's a lot of listeners out there. Really, when I say truck drivers, I prefer to say professional truck drivers. It is a profession. These guys, you have no idea. I've mentioned it, the amount of stuff that they have to know and the amount of safety things they have to know. And if you think about the few amount of collisions that any of you have seen with trucks, these guys, they really do take it to heart. They want to do a good job. They want to drive safe. It's not like, just like Leos are portrayed in shows and truckers are portrayed in shows. That's not the way it is. No. These guys really are professionals. They're family men. They're hardworking Americans. So whatever you see or portrayed, do your own research, because those aren't the facts. So and I appreciate you saying professional truck drivers, because it really is a profession. What do you say, Russell? You have anything?
Just use common sense. Now, Oscar's made fun of me, but it's what it really boils down to.
Right. We should have just did that the first 5 minutes. Use common sense. All right, let's close it out, guys. Let's
there we go. Yeah, we're done.
Oh, yeah.
We're done.
But no, I mean, and it is, we are, man, most people work professional. I mean, even professions work, maybe more than 40 hours, but a lot of people only work 40 hours a week. We ain't even scratched the surface at that point. I mean, we're allowed 70 hours, and then we can restart and do another. But I mean, we work our butts off, and we put in time. And I know Steve does too, even though he's home every other day and all that. But that's what we do. We put in a lot of time, and we have bad days. We have good days. We have bad days, and just. Sometimes it really boils down to our bad days just because of a bunch of idiots out there that makes it such a bad day. Yep. Not just traffic jams. I can deal with traffic jams, but it's the idiots that make that so frustrating. Or even just out in the middle of Wyoming, I've had idiots. It's like, are you kidding me?
They're everywhere, Russ.
Yeah, they are. They are everywhere. But just
whenever you get mad, Russ, just remember this. just reef on that fucking horn.
Yeah, yank that horn.
You don't believe how many times I want to do that, But I restrain.
We're going to put one of those in Chewy's patrol car.
Once in a while. I will do it once in a while. There you go.
Chewy's patrol car.
Get an air horn system set up. You know, they have them for them. 12 volt. They got little air pumps.
Oh, we're going to put something on there.
Oh, buddy's leaving us.
Yeah, I guess because the wife's home, you hear the garage door open and you can feel it at least.
I feel it in my feet.
In our bonus room. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's you know, we're working our butts off out there, and we put in a lot of time. And the other thing is just, you know, give us a break and just try to help us out and just not be, you know, buttholes about it and just get on around us. Just leave us alone. We'll leave you alone. You know, that kind of thing.
Yep. I agree. That's the takeaway. Absolutely. Love it. Chewy.
Well,
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm just happy to be. No, I have a tremendous amount of respect for what you guys do. It's a hard job. For those that are listening, if you're at a gas station or someplace, you see a trucker, tell them how much you appreciate them. Tell them thanks for what they do, because it's hard work, and I'm sure they don't get a lot of that. It's important. And if you're on the road, back off. Just
get by or get back, Chewy.
Get by
or get back.
Yep. And if you're on the side of them, if you're in a motorcycle, or if you're in a car and you're on the left-hand side passing them, get by them. Don't stay on the side of them.
I agree. Just move on.
That's it.
Get on.
That's right. Give them a cold beer salute.
A cold beer salute.
Dang it. I got an empty beer, but I'll raise my cup. I mean, my tin.
I just want to say too, thank you guys for the job that you do. I know law enforcement gets a bad rap a lot of times, but you know what?
Yeah,
I have the highest regard and respect for each and every one of you out there putting your life on the line every day for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
I'm with you on that, Steve.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
we all appreciate that. And, you know,
definitely.
Without getting all sentimental, but I'm gonna. You know, and that's the beautiful part that I've come to realize, having done Lab 3 years, and I know Oscar and I know Chewy and all the other guys involved, is that look at us here. You know, we all come from different backgrounds, and whether you're a professional truck driver, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a police officer, military, what's the common bond? Motorcycles.
Yeah.
And we can cut down all those walls and whatever it is, because sitting here tonight, none of us have that. We're breaking those down, you know? And so it's awesome. And I never would have fathomed when we started this, it was just us.
Yeah.
To realize that I'd be sitting here and I've learned so much, just like tonight, about the trucking industry that I didn't know, and all the stuff we talked about tonight. So again, without getting too sentimental, it is awesome that we can all, again, it all comes down to, you know, we talked a lot about the trucking industry. We talked about safety stuff. But it's interesting to learn about the trucking industry. The more you know about that, the more safer you can be as a biker. But we can all learn about each other. And again, it doesn't matter what we all do for a day job. We're all bikers.
We're all bikers.
And we can all sit around and we can all have a drink and we can talk this stuff. And it just seems right. It seems natural. You know what I mean?
Right on.
It is. It's absolutely awesome. All right, guys. I appreciate it. Stay on the horn there, Stephen. We'll close this out real quick. Thanks, guys. 2-part episode. I broke it into. I'm going to break it into, and but there was a lot of information there, and I would hate to have to try to get you guys back in here and pick up where we left off. Wouldn't make sense when we're on a roll.
Yeah.
So I'll do later. I'll figure out how to break that up, but you guys don't have to worry about that, obviously. So call to action, guys. Don't forget, if you want to support us, Bikeaholics, we have a dedicated affiliate banner page. I strongly encourage you to support us by going to lawabidingbiker.com/banners. I know Russell is a huge supporter, and he has purchased a lot of stuff. One of our affiliates is B&H Photo Video over there.
Yeah.
And I know, talking to him and seeing that he's been a big supporter of that. But anyways, there's a lot of banners over there, a lot of motorcycle banners, and of course technology, because we talk GoPros, and that's where B&H Photo Video come out, and me and Russell just like to geek out anyways. We're going to geek out after the episode here a little bit.
Yeah, I'm leaving for that one.
No, you aren't. No, you aren't. You're staying. But lawabidingbiker.com/banners. You can click through any of those banners. Amazon's over there. Like I say, Motorcycle Superstore, Revzilla, all that. You click through and end up making a purchase. That's right. No additional cost to you, but we get a small kickback. Helps keep this thing going on down the road. Again, lawabidingbiker.com/banners. Just go to it and then bookmark it, like Help Lab, or you can go to lawabidingbiker.com/Amazon and call it Lab Amazon. But seriously, it doesn't matter. You can even order, pink panties.
You can order Chewy, I think.
And we get a small
free
kickback,
shipping. Yeah,
right?
it is free shipping.
It is, yeah, right.
I'm a lovable guy. Go ahead and order.
Oh, yeah.
You could order a Chewy pillow. I don't know. Whatever you order, it doesn't even have to.
Wow. Nice.
Oh,
Got to get me one of those.
That's right. Bookmark it, guys. Call it Lab Banners or whatever. Anyways, they want to leave us a internet voicemail. They can leave it. lawabidingbike.com/voicemail, guys. From anywhere in the world, from your built-in microphone on your computer. All right, guys. You know where they can call us there, Russell? If they want to leave a phone, if they want to use the phone.
Make sure you call it 509-731-3548.
Leave us a voicemail, guys, at either of those places. We may give you a shout out on an episode, guys. But it's been fun. It's been real. Thanks, guys, for being in the studio.
Thank you.
Appreciate
yes,
it.
Indeed.
All right. Peace out.
Thank you.